Hello and welcome to the third round of the 2025 PDGA United States Women's Disc Golf Championships presented by Discraft and CHaferNews.com. It's our second major of the year. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two Huckies.
Hawk.
And we switch courses today. So we're at Silver Creek, the Supreme layout, which is not one you've played before.
No.
It's
a
brand new.
It's a new mix. There's like 20, I believe, 4 holes out here, and it's a mix of all of those holes, skipping some of the worst ones. It's super for sure. It also was super windy today. It was pretty brutal conditions, warm, but a chilly wind that kind of gusted through the course. Starting on hole 1, we had a ripping headwind. At 576, this is one that you can throw a mid or even a fairway or even a mid off the tee, but the wind made it really tough. You want to make sure you land center cut in the gap. The road is not out of bounds. Your second shot is a little hyzer into this green. Most people try to land on the top and just trickle over the hill because that OB comes up really quick on the left side. But with the wind today, it was suddenly a brutally hard hole. It actually played as the second most difficult hole.
Henna, our current leader, got to watch her all day yesterday. I like the forehand on this one anyway, I think it was absolutely the play in the headwind today because that wind was turning us all over the place. It was, I believe, a sustained 20 mile per hour wind with gusts up to 35. It's wild out there.
It was. Felt like a Kansas or a Texas-y type day, but then you're playing in the woods.
That'll play all right.
Up next, we have Hailey King.
Hailey really putting on a putting clinic in the second half of yesterday's round, making some really clutch circle 2 putts and just, I don't know, generally balling out is sick.
Hailey trying to kind of slice that one through the wind. She misses that first tree to get around, but she'll be a little pinched.
Our next competitor, Eveliina Salonen.
Hard to say. A lot of we flew down the tunnel, but the right side play is just as viable. It's a blind second shot, but it's just a simple hyzer with nothing in your way. So it's a nice play.
It just lengthens the hole a good bit, but for these ladies, that's no big deal. You can see Eveliina really pushing that right side, and that's absolutely fine. Oh,
it's great.
And completing our lead card, Emily Weatherman.
Emily joining our lead card. The rest is the same as yesterday. She shot a phenomenal round in the woods, just staying in the fairway, and really excited to see her today. Oh, what a smooth shot. Chill.
Wow, managing the wind really well, but finishing left like that makes the hole a lot more difficult.
Isn't there like nothing over there?
Yeah.
That's why I like the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Henna, probably 350 feet away.
Yeah, maybe even farther. This is a huge hyzer shot.
Yeah, it really needs to swing all the way to the left. Looks pretty good. She might even be able to kind of see it down that hill. I'm not sure.
Oh.
There is OB down here, though.
Oh, and unfortunately, she finds it. Hailey going out and around as well. She's going to land up on top of the hill.
I do like the contrast of, having a shred in the woods. Emily tying the course record yesterday, the record of this tournament anyway, at 8 down to get out here. And it's a very different style than Rollin' Ridge. Also, everything you did in practice, just throw it out the window. The wind's so different and so much more intense. Whole new course out here. Oh, nice.
A really beautiful approach from Emily. Yeah, this course is a lot more like fair and pure. There's no shot where you're throwing and hoping. There's a line, you have to hit that line, and if you don't, you're in the rough, and the rough is brutal. So it's pretty straightforward, your game plan. But like Erika said, the wind was wildly different, and yeah, any notes I made were not effective.
Yeah, I just crumpled my notes up, burned them, grabbed wildly different discs. Nice putt.
A great par save from Eveliina. That's a tough one. Like I said, this played it's the second most difficult hole of the day.
Oh, wow.
There was only 6 birdies. Eveliina rescuing that par is with an OB stroke is, essentially a birdie.
I don't think anyone else is doing that out here.
No.
Yeah. Wow. Par played great today. That's crazy.
Yeah, it averaged at almost or over a half a stroke over par with more than almost 50% of the field with a bogey or worse.
Checking in with Holland Hanley on the 4th. This is a very reminiscent of D-Glow. You're going way up this manicured hill. She's super far, going to be a little pinched on the right side, but not much distance left. And she needs to swing up and to the right.
The height is really important here to make sure you get right enough, but we had a ripping left to right crosswind here.
And I wonder if she has to go through.
Wow.
That looked like a pretty small gap. Impressive putt. And I'm so curious to see how the scores shake out in the wind. I was thinking like we'd see a ton of like 5, 6, 7, 8 downs, and could see double digits. Maybe not easily, but definitely more than the other course by far.
Yeah.
But in the wind, could be interesting. Hole 2 is a long par 3, 342 feet, but plays uphill, and it's a very technical line. You're going over an OB creek. The right side is a little bit friendlier than the left, so if you're going to do anything incorrectly, overturn it a little bit. Easy to do because, once again, a ripping headwind. If you manage to get all the way up here with like a perfect little flex shot and get some ground play, it's a fairly protected green at circle 2, but then the actual circle's pretty clear.
I feel like this one is probably like the most rolling ridge-ish hole out here.
Yeah, it feels like you just need to get 3/4 and hit that gap and then kind of see how it shakes out.
Yep.
For sure. Henna going to be a little too straight there.
This is another headwind hole. Not ideal for the shot shape you're looking for.
Yeah.
Head/right to left cross. And yeah, I think either a flex or like a little pushing hyzer is great.
The hyzer's tough, though. It feels like there's not enough room off the tee for it. Mm-hmm. And Hailey doing a good job to get to the gap.
Like a hyzer flip, sorry.
Yeah, but like in the headwind.
It was scary.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
That's so good.
Dang. Still great.
Emily gonna mess around on the left side, but thankfully she checks up before going deep left. I think deep left or short left on this hole is probably one of the most brutal places on the course. It is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Look at this teeny little hallway.
Yeah, it gets worse as you go left, but Henna has just enough room framed up, and what a great little touch shot.
Henna throwing all sorts of forehands these days.
Mm-hmm.
Really touchy shot. Emily lined up slightly better. No problem. Yeah, 3 more feet to the left and oof.
Eveliina with a little bit of a look here. Looks like she's going to have to flex one around these trees. Oh my gosh, she rims off the top. Almost cashes a birdie.
What a great bid, and it stays close. Let's see if Hailey can find the first green on the scorecard. Just a touch high.
I knew she wouldn't because looking at the stats, there were no birdies on this hole. This is making me feel so much better. This played is the most difficult hole of the day. I struggled on this one. I think it's just like the par 3s at Rollin' Ridge where you're just like praying that you get through. Oh, man.
I bet we'll see a couple birdies tomorrow. I think the wind is supposed to be significantly less, but it's supposed to be hotter.
Perfect.
Beach party after.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of the beach, the waves on Lake Michigan today were surfable.
Surf's up.
Surf was up.
Yeah, the whole first quarter mile of the water was just brown from all the, you know,
Getting stirred up.
getting stirred up.
Yep. Half the field birdieing, half the field with a bogey or worse on hole 2.
Parring.
Parring.
Sophia Dunica off to a hot start, 3 down through 8.
Hole 3, a very gettable par 3 at 346 feet, but not easy. These trees are right in the way.
Trunks?
Yeah, these trunks are right in the way of the ideal line to get to this basket. Also, there is out of bounds to the left side, just outside of circle 1, that comes into play very quickly. The green is sloped and rollaways are plentiful here on hole 3.
I mean, they've always looked funny, but now I'm really aware of those trees.
Question mark?
Yeah. They're not stumps. Ooh, wow.
That's beautiful.
And now sit. That's great.
What a beautiful pushing hyzer from Henna, flipping up nicely. It was a tailwind here. We're going pretty much the opposite direction of holes 1 and 2. You couldn't feel it as much as you would like here.
What do you mean off the tee?
Yeah.
For how much it messed with your disc?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, like, this was so typical, stabling out a little too much, and there is OB over there, so careful.
Yeah, off the tee, you couldn't quite tell, but the discs were definitely feeling it. And there, you can see the spotter's flag really waving.
I like this little linear line at it. Gonna give Emily a long look. Very controlled in the wind.
Eveliina gonna take more of a turning line. I love that, but it's gonna finish out at the end. She'll be at the bottom of the hill on the edge of the circle. And it's really hard to get close to the basket on this hole. You see a lot of circle's edge putts.
Oh.
Yeah.
And not as many rollaways as some of the Roll and Ridge greens, but definitely quite a few here. Emily not able to convert either.
Only one player parked this hole, even though it's very reachable.
That looked like a great putt.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Eveliina getting nubbed.
Yeah, dude, I'm feeling so much more validated. There was only 4 people that got to circle 1 in regulation.
Yeah, I know. You say very reachable. I'm like, oh, it's pretty hard.
Huh.
I mean, I can get to circle 2 pretty easily, but like getting inside the circle's tough with the angle. And
Yeah.
then with the wind, forget about it.
36 players to circle 2 in regulation, so a huge jump. And some putting woes here on hole 3.
Yeah, surprising not to see any birdies out here so yet. I mean, on a calm day, we definitely would have seen several. So just kind of watching the players dial it in, get used to these conditions.
Shout out Deanne Carey for parking this hole.
Nice. Hole 4, an uphill par 4. This is the one we watched Holland Hanley just birdie at 411 feet. It's reachable by everyone. If you don't have elite power, you're probably not quite making it to where the gap opens up. If you do, you can throw a huge hyzer and go to the left and then be able to see the pin and maybe even throw a backhand. For the most part, I think a lot of people are throwing forehand approaches because they haven't quite crested the top of the hill, and it just kind of curves from left to right. Hopefully we're going to see these ladies go huge here.
This is the first hole where the rough gets really brutal. That right side is absolutely insane. There was a left to right crosswind as you get up at the top of the hill, but you couldn't really feel much down here in the lower part of the course.
Yeah, this was the first one where you could kind of open up just a little bit.
Yep.
You see most ladies kind of push this right side before fading in. Oh, that looks good. This is what you want.
It's so strange. No matter how far you get up this hill, this upshot is still like a little hard.
I think unless you get that like huge fade over to the left.
Yes.
And I mean, it's still not the easiest. It's tricky, but it's definitely easier.
You can see Henna really trying to get that left finish.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd see this. It's such a cool play.
It requires so much power.
Yeah, and it's risky too. I mean, if you mess that up, the left side rough is brutal. I mean, the right side can be, but the left side will be. Mm-hmm. And here's the backhand approach from Emily. It takes a lot of skill to throw that left to right moving shot. She is going to be a little obstructed, but close.
Especially in the wind. Hailey, the wind kind of helping Hailey's disc up the hill just a little bit, but it's pretty common for disc to land outside of this little tree line.
Wow, Henna able to see the basket. She leaves it just a little bit left, but should hopefully be able to make easy work of that.
Wow,
and Eveliina, yeah.
Holy cow.
I know.
This is insane.
Yeah.
The fact that she's far enough that she can almost see the basket on the right side.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Emily didn't really seem like she had a line there. Hopefully she found my harp sitting there. I just left it.
Oh, I have it.
You have it?
I have
Did you land there?
Someone gave it to me.
Oh,
No,
nice.
someone gave it to me.
Okay.
Remind me. It's in my bag.
Those of you at home, leave it in the comments. Remind Madison to give Erika her harp back. No, that's one that hurts. Come on, Eveliina. Do it for the card.
Oh, man.
Sometimes it's hard when no one's really scoring on the card to like really get your round going.
Also, might be very dramatic, but I feel like it is hard sometimes to putt short putts when you can hear the wind in the trees, and like it was roaring today, and it's like even though it's not affecting that particular shot, it's in your brain. Like the trauma of putting in the wind lives,
and sticks falling on you.
Yeah. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I didn't see anything.
Ella
oh, look at this wind
ahead on the sixth. Going, wow, really big forehand. So it was when I came through a big right to left crosswind.
Me too.
And so the forehand is not something I practiced but is a great play in this wind. Normally Ella might be throwing like a really tall spike hyzer.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if she was outside circle too. She's running.
She definitely was.
She's running.
That looked like it was well outside circle too. Let's see, I can tell you 100 feet away.
Sick. Valerie Mendojano on hole 8 couldn't do it any better. She takes the inside gap with the left to right moving backhand. Love to see it.
Ooh, that outfit too.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Those shorts. And a little unfortunate to not see those really great drives converted into birdies. Everyone close, though. Let's see if they can dial it in.
Hole 5. This is a tricky tee shot. That Mando on the left side is, of course, in play. The right side, there's not really a great line. The objective here off the tee, in my opinion, is to try to get something to land straight and a little bit more left. The more right you are pinched, you have to throw a lot more technical of a shot. It brings a lot of low-hanging branches and some pretty large bushy trees on the right side into play. It's a lot more options if you push straighter and more left in the fairway. It was a ripping headwind, if I remember correctly. Head left to right.
Left to right.
And you look at the branches moving around while Emily's stepping up to her shot. In practice, I was loving like a straight or maybe even like a slightly flippy fairway or driver. But today that was just not an option.
Yeah. And you're seeing all these discs turn over and kind of burn to the right. If you're going to throw this turn shot, you need something with a little bit of stability. Eveliina managing that pretty nicely. She might still be a little bit more right than she wants, but if she got far enough, that's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, this shot, even though it kind of looks like a forehand would be a good play, it's really not the one. It would be a really safe shot for par, but it just doesn't put you in the right position necessarily for setting up for attacking for the birdie.
Mm-hmm. This one, I think it was hard because you basically had to aim left of the Mando and trust that the wind would help you make the Mando.
Yes. I landed in the same spot that Emily's in, and it was actually
shot.
a great spot to be.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm blown away.
It's set up really, really nicely.
Except for that really slow roll away from the basket.
Yeah.
But.
It's just like short right. It was decent. Henna going to be pinned up against one of these beautiful trees.
A little too low.
This was also kind of a headwind, making this shot towards the basket.
Yeah, it was a little sketch. This is one that in practice it's like, oh yeah, as long as you make the Mando, you're gonna have a chance to birdie it. But in the wind today, it's no joke. And I think Hailey King is gonna get that one for her first birdie of the round and the card.
That's so crazy.
Oh, Eveliina, wow, she really punched through. She's so far. Keep going. She's gonna have to earn it.
Henna with another strange lie and stance. And what a beautiful little touchy shot.
She made that look pretty comfortable. And
Wow.
Go ahead.
Displayed as the fourth most difficult hole of the day.
I think just that mandatory messed with people.
And the wind conditions, those combined.
I think, people probably just landing in strange spots, like short right or something.
Yeah,
or missing the Mando.
It's pretty bizarre. We only had, a handful of days to practice, and it's pretty bizarre to come to a course that you haven't gotten to play very much and then have such wildly varying conditions. So we don't know the course as well as we would like on top of it.
Eveliina comes up short on that birdie bid.
She's putting herself in position for a really great round, but just not quite converting on the green.
Which is kind of what we see from Eveliina when she's not quite on.
Yeah, when she's maybe a little nervous but in the wind.
Her putts look confident, though.
Yeah.
They're just a little longer than, you'd like.
And there's a lot of players where the wind really does affect their putting routine and mental. There was 8 birdies on hole 5 today, so.
Nice. Hailey gonna take the lead with hers. Holland, after a couple bogeys, she's on hole 10, trying to punch up this right side and hopefully get up this hill a little bit. She'll be at the base of it, but pretty close for hopefully the little 4. She's so business right now.
She looked
so business.
She looked exasperated business. She's overtime business.
Yeah. She's pushing 65 hours this week.
No
She
way.
just chucked it in. Oh my God, clock out, Holland.
You clock out.
Girl. Time to party.
It's starting to get reckless, honestly. Someone call OSHA. If that had gone past the basket, that is OB for sure.
Yeah, probably a bogey.
Yeah. Nice eagle from Holland.
Hole 6, this is where we just saw Ella Hansen throw in a huge putt. It was a crazy right to left crosswind, so usually you're gonna see like some hyzer flips and some drifting shots up this left side, or the big spike hyzer off to the right, but that was a dangerous play with the right to left wind. The OB comes up quick behind the basket, particularly for anything fading towards the left. Yeah, I had never practiced the forehand, but in the wind I was like, well, this is a good play to fight the wind.
Yeah, this is the choice.
I don't even know what you would do on the backhand.
Yeah, I tried to throw a flippier fairway and play it out to the left and let it come back, but
it was like pushing it left.
Yes,
wow.
And coming up and over that hill too, it was like a strange little updraft that was coming right in the middle of the fairway.
Hailey King with a huge forehand, looking super casual. And this play can still work in this wind if you give it enough width, which it seems like Emily did.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, she did.
Okay, I thought that wasn't going to be great, but then that just spiked out really nicely.
I know. I thought it was going to keep carrying. Let's see it again.
Yeah. Do we know what she threw?
A Halo Star Sidewinder.
What?
Yeah, so that's just showing how much work the wind is doing because this is not a stable disc.
Especially not a spiky disc.
Yeah.
Wow.
And very thoughtful disc selection and wind read from Emily.
Yep. So that shows someone that knows their disc really well.
Look at this wind.
Oh. Eveliina putting that one way out wide, but there is room over there.
Mm-hmm. There really is. Way more room on the left than the right. Oh, wait a second. I was looking at the wrong thing. Oh, Emily did throw a destroyer.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
I was on the wrong thing. Eveliina just going to lay up.
This played as the third most difficult hole of the day, which is so surprising. In calm conditions, it absolutely would not.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh,
nice.
yes.
Henna going to dunk it in for her first birdie.
You see the
Deep sigh
camera,
of relief.
and the camera guy too was like,
Yeah. Let's see it again. That's awesome.
sick putt.
And yeah, this will play way easier if it's not as windy tomorrow. Nice 2 birdies in a row from Hailey. And Emily, so sorry, destroyer.
Yeah, Sidewinder.
Nice.
I was like blown
I know.
away.
I was like, I can't believe, honestly,
Must be a freak of a Sidewinder. It's got a lot of dye on it.
3 birdies there is great.
Yeah.
Do you think
there's
Ella's...
only 7 on the day, so really impressive.
Yeah, I think that Ella's wasn't quite as far as you're throwing on this one, though, right?
Yeah. Hole 7 is a very fun par 4 at 481 feet. It's one that you were thinking maybe having a long putt for eagle. That road on the right side is out of bounds. This is a very fun little gap that you can maybe push your hyzer through if you're feeling really aggressive. If not, it's a pretty straightforward up and down for an easy birdie. There is some rough on the left side of that gap that can be kind of brutal to approach from. And then this is one of those greens where you get out there and you're like not elevated, no mound, no nothing. It's a little scary. It's too easy.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by the open air. It's terrifying.
And a lot of spectators. So many people came out today. It was really cool to see the Great Lakes region turning out.
Hailey with really perfect placement. Emily, maybe just a touch inside there, good distance, but gonna have to get a little scrambly. Ooh,
Pretty.
maybe through the gap.
Yes.
Oh, love
Here's
to
the gap.
see it. Awesome shot.
That is so far. I mean, let's see. It's the hole's 481 feet. She threw that every bit of what? 430?
Yeah, definitely. With a sidewinder. I'm just kidding. It's a destroyer. Eveliina almost squaring up the gap. There is kind of a sneaky gap right there. She should be able to pitch up for a birdie. Emily, I like the height on this.
Ooh, this is pretty.
Yeah. Really well done.
Wow. That's a tough shot.
Yeah, so easy to just throw right into that big bushy tree and never, ever get out of it.
This is one of the few holes where the wind was very protected. You didn't feel it very much at all anywhere on the hole.
Yeah, it was surprising not to feel it that much on the green. It's just a
Mhm.
big open field with nothing but your thoughts to keep you company.
Eveliina going to show us that rough on the left side of the gap. Oh, man.
Deeper.
Yeah. The struggle to get legal is real off the fairway.
Pretty little shot. Gonna leave, what, 45 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
This played as the easiest hole of the day. If you're not inside the circle for birdie, you are bummed. And if you are not inside circle 2 for eagle, I don't know what you're doing. Henna just going to lay this one up. Oh, what a save from Eveliina. There she is from circle 2.
Great putt. Scrambly birdie. Look at that full extension, commitment. Beautiful.
Little backboard action on the side of the inside of the cage.
Hailey from outside the circle. Splash out left side. And a nice conversion from Emily.
%38% of the field birdieing this one. And I feel like that's mostly playing easy because of the lack of wind. And
Yeah.
it was like a sigh of relief.
A breath of stale air, if you will. Nice to see some green on the scorecard. Here's Valerie on hole 11. A really tricky tee shot. It's very specific. That's about as perfect as you can ever throw it. Valerie able to throw a backhand on the second. A lot of times you're forced to throw a forehand or a very technical backhand. What a beautiful upshot.
It's a hard little approach. It's so downhill.
Smooth birdie from Valerie. And a tie up at the top with those 2 birdies from Henna. Emily trailing by 2. Kristen Lott making some moves. 5
Yeah,
down
she is.
now. Hole 8, a par 3, 268 feet. We saw Valerie birdie it earlier. It kind of looks like a forehand off the tee, but the forehand, it's not the cleanest of lines. The drone is flying the correct line, I think, to get there to maximize your chances, and it really feels like a totally sawed-off shot, or overturned rather, from the tee to get all the way there. Like, you want it to look bad out of your hand, and you're like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
If you take kind of the left side gap, you got to get a little lucky through those trees.
We like to call it a shank and flex.
Mm-hmm.
There's the shank. Let's look for the flex.
Wow. And Emily a little bit left side of the where the drone flew, but she's going to get through all those trees. That's a flex for sure.
Oh, she just went pure turn and kind of got lucky through the trees.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's doable, but rare.
Mm-hmm. There's so many of them.
And
Yep,
that's
there.
looking pretty dang good.
Oh, just you got.
That's why you really need to look like you're shanking it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
you-
looks perfect.
You
and
want to
it's
like
not.
you want to be like, I'm about to hit the early corner tree.
Mm-hmm.
Heart attack moment, and then it's going to be great. Eveliina going to try the forehand.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's just not quite there. Or at least for the shape of my forehand. You can
No,
make it work, but it just never quite gets as close as the backhand either.
Hailey's got the home team advantage. She finds a little line. She'll be putting from circle 2. Thankfully, though, once you get up in these trees, it's usually pretty straightforward to approach. Henna showing us a nice little chippy forehand. This played is the second easiest hole of the day. There were only 16 birdies out of 78 competitors, but I think, yeah, it's just a pretty tough one to bogey unless you maybe do a 3-putt.
Eveliina pitching it up nicely. Hailey really blocked on this circle 2 look. Kind of a straddle, little stepper. Emily, let me double check my notes, threw a star road runner to park the hole. Oh, cute. Making minis. Nice tap and birdie from Emily.
That's one that you hope to get, but you cannot bank on it.
Emily with that turkey within 1 of the lead now.
Let's wrap up the front 9 right alongside the lake. Hole 9, 277. The narrowest part of the fairway here, right about halfway down. Once you get through there, there's a lot more room to work, especially if you're throwing a little hyzer flip or a flex. There's a lot more room on the right side of the fairway. You see a lot of putting from the short side of circle 1. Nothing really to worry about here. There is out of bounds, but it's way pulled back out in the sand on the beach and doesn't really come into play. This is a very fun par 3.
Yeah, it feels so good to hit this gap clean. And a lot of times you get to see ace runs on this hole, which is so fun. Great
The
shot.
wind was a little bit of a headwind, maybe some trickling left to right, but honestly,
It was pretty guarded.
Yeah, you couldn't feel it too bad.
I didn't even write it down, so it wasn't worth mentioning.
You could hear it though.
Ooh,
Wow.
beautiful shot. Dead straight from Henna. I believe that's her champ Mako 3. Perfect height for an ace run. Nice shot from Eveliina.
Hailey, just a bit of an early release, but she still gets through all those trees, and she is well inside the circle.
Everyone on the dance floor. Yeah, look at that water out there. You didn't go surfing after the round?
There she is, another birdie from Eveliina.
Really nice putt. She threw... Oh, man, I'm off, man. Henna threw a rock 3. Emily, 4 in a row.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. What do we think about that?
After Roland Ridge, I'm like, it doesn't exist. We're not going to do any regional birds.
Hailey leaving that birdie bid short.
I feel like I think we should do a white pelican.
Yeah, there were a ton of pelicans out on the rock to the left of the tee pad. I thought it was one giant rock. It was 15 pelicans.
Yeah, they really gathered together out there, tightly packed.
As we all should as a community, you know? Anyway, Henna in the lead still by 1. Emily Weatherman and Hailey King tied 1 behind her. Eveliina 3 strokes back the lead. Chase card and third card chasing. Kristen let 5 down through 15, making moves.
Yeah, the back 9 of this course does not get any easier. The wind gets more brutal on more of the holes. So anyone that's doing well right now is in for a real treat as we move through this course. It looks like in the clubhouse right now we have a couple one downs, but it did play tough today compared to practice. So competitors are out here still trying to figure it out. We have 9 more holes to watch them figure out their new game plan. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the Two Hot Geese.
Honk.
And please subscribe to help us to get to 500,000 of you people. The subscribers.
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Watch your body and I feel that sunshine.